The galaxy's deadliest bounty hunters were known for one thing: they never failed a mission. These hunters were the best at capturing the toughest targets, no matter how dangerous. They had been hired by the richest and most powerful clients in the galaxy. But this mission was different. Their latest job was to hunt humans. To most alien species, humans were nothing special. Weak, fragile, and easy to overpower. That's what the hunters had been told. The humans' reputation across the galaxy was poor, and everyone laughed when they heard about the mission. It was supposed to be simple. Go to Earth, catch a few humans, collect the money, and leave. But the hunters weren't so sure. They had heard about Earth, about its dangerous wildlife and harsh environment. Some of them thought the job would be harder than expected, but most believed it would be just another routine hunt. The bounty hunters set off for Earth. Their ships landed on the planet's surface, and they were immediately struck by how wild and untamed the world seemed. It was a death world, a place where only the strong survived. But that didn't scare the bounty hunters. They had faced many dangerous planets before, and this would be no different. The hunters split into groups and began their search. They tracked down a group of humans in a nearby forest. The humans didn't run. They didn't scream for help. Instead, they fought back. It wasn't the fight the hunters had expected. The humans were fast, clever, and resourceful. Some of the hunters were stunned as they tried to capture them, only to find themselves caught in traps and surrounded by unexpected danger. Something wasn't right. The bounty hunters began to wonder, could these humans be more than they had been told? Maybe this mission wouldn't be as easy as they thought. The bounty hunters had never expected this. They had thought humans would be easy to catch, but the humans weren't running away. They weren't even scared. Instead, they fought back with everything they had. It was unlike anything the hunters had seen before. The hunters, trained to deal with dangerous worlds, were shocked. They had faced deadly beasts, tough warriors, and planets full of threats, but these humans? They were different. Fast and clever, the humans set traps, used the land to their advantage, and fought with surprising strength. One hunter was knocked to the ground by a human who seemed small, but was stronger than he looked. The leader of the hunters, a tough and battle-hardened warrior named Zorn, called for a halt. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Humans weak? That was a lie. They had managed to evade capture for hours, outsmarting the hunters at every turn. Zorn, frustrated, ordered his team to regroup. But things didn't get better. The humans had begun to understand how the hunters worked. They used the trees, rocks, and rivers to slow the hunters down. At one point, a group of humans even led the hunters into a trap. A wild beast attacked the hunters, forcing them to fight for their lives. The humans stood back, watching carefully, as if they knew the danger was coming. One of the hunters, a younger warrior named Rika, couldn't understand it. "Why aren't they running?" she asked. The humans should have been easy targets. But instead, they were standing their ground, fighting back. Rika started to wonder. Were humans really weak, or were they something far more dangerous than anyone had imagined? The bounty hunters weren't sure anymore. The mission wasn't as easy as they thought. And now, they had to rethink everything. As the days passed, the bounty hunters learned something surprising. Humans were not what they had expected. The more they chased them, the more they saw how strong, smart, and brave these people were. The humans didn't run away like prey. They fought with everything they had. The hunters had been sent to capture them, but now they began to question their mission. Zorn, the leader, felt it most. He had been trained to track and catch anyone, no matter how tough. But the humans were different. They were tough in ways the hunters couldn't understand. One night, as Zorn sat alone thinking, he saw a group of humans fighting off a dangerous wild creature. They worked together, using tools and clever tricks to survive. Zorn had never seen anything like it. These humans were fighting not just to survive, but to win. The next morning, Zorn made a decision. He couldn't do it anymore. He couldn't hunt these humans. He had to know more. He had to understand why they were so different from what the galaxy believed. So, Zorn quietly approached one of the humans. A tall man with bright eyes named Ethan. He had been watching the hunters from the trees for days, but he wasn't afraid. Instead of attacking, Zorn spoke. "Why are you so strong?" he asked. Ethan looked at him and smiled. "We fight to survive," he answered simply. "We don't give up, no matter what." Zorn thought about the words for a long time. Humans didn't just survive. They thrived. And they were willing to fight for their home. Soon, other hunters began to see what Zorn had seen. One by one, they started to help the humans. They shared their skills, taught them how to fight back even harder. The hunters now realized they weren't the ones in control anymore. The humans were changing everything. The alliance between the bounty hunters and the humans grew stronger each day. Together, they fought off wild creatures, survived harsh conditions, and even planned to take down dangerous enemies who wanted to destroy Earth. Zorn and the others saw the humans for who they truly were: strong, clever, and brave. But not all the bounty hunters agreed with Zorn's decision. There were still those who believed the mission should be completed. They couldn't accept that the humans were more than weak prey. These hunters were loyal to their original client, the one who had hired them to capture the humans. They were still waiting for the reward promised to them. One evening, as the group rested by a fire, Rika, the young hunter, felt a sharp pain in her chest. She had been torn between two choices for too long. The humans weren't the enemy anymore. But what would happen to her if she betrayed the mission? She knew what her clients expected. Rika made up her mind. She quietly slipped away in the night, planning to tell the client everything. The humans and the other hunters wouldn't see her coming. Rika contacted their mysterious client and revealed the truth: how the bounty hunters had turned on their mission and were helping the humans. She didn't know what would happen next, but she was ready to face the consequences. Her loyalty to her client had always been clear. Now, she was going to finish what she started. The next day, the air was tense. The humans and the hunters prepared for a new battle, unaware that Rika's betrayal was already in motion. Soon, more enemies arrived, mercenaries sent to stop the bounty hunters and finish the job. Rika's betrayal had set everything in motion. Now, both the bounty hunters and the humans would have to fight together. The battle for Earth had just begun, and they couldn't afford to trust anyone but each other. The battle had begun. The bounty hunters and humans were ready. They had no choice but to fight together. The enemies who came to stop them were not just mercenaries. They were soldiers from the client who had hired the bounty hunters. Now, they were here to finish what had started. Zorn, leading the hunters, gathered the humans. "We fight together," he said. "This is our home. We protect it, no matter what." The humans, now trained and ready, nodded. They were not afraid. They had learned to survive in the wild, but now they would fight with everything they had to protect their planet. The enemy came in waves, trying to break through the defenses. But the humans and the bounty hunters fought back harder than anyone expected. They worked as one, using every trick and skill they had. The bounty hunters fought like they had never fought before. They were no longer just hunters, they were defenders. The humans used the land, hiding in trees and setting traps. The bounty hunters took down enemies with fast moves and precision. But the enemy forces were strong, and it wasn't easy. Zorn fought side by side with Ethan, a human he had come to respect. They worked together to take down the toughest soldiers. Rika, the hunter who had betrayed them, watched from the back. She had returned to see the chaos she had caused. But as she saw the teamwork between the humans and the hunters, she began to doubt everything. Was she wrong to betray them? The humans weren't just strong, they were heroes. In the end, after hours of fighting, the enemy was defeated. The bounty hunters and the humans stood together, bloodied but victorious. Zorn turned to the humans. "We were wrong about you," he said. "You are not weak. You are the strongest force in the galaxy." Earth had won. And the galaxy would never forget the strength of humanity.